Welcome back in Dynamite Chad, US 51 Country, 93.5 FM. And I'm joined now, a little echo in my microphone for some reason, but I think I've taken care of that. And I'm joined now by Kathryn Vaughn with the Tipton County Education Association, but not just the Tipton County Education Association. You do plenty of stuff. I'm just going to let you list it off because it's too, I'm not even sure I remember it all, but go ahead.
Hi, Chad. Thanks for having me. I'm Kathryn Vaughn. I'm the president of the Tipton County Education Association. I am stepping into my 20th year as an educator in Tipton County schools. And I am also the aquatics director for the city of Covington and the youth sports coordinator. So I love serving our community, and I'm so fortunate to have many pathways to do that.
So the aquatic coordinator, I know we'll get to the education because school is starting next week.
Yeah.
The aquatic coordinator is, you run the pool, or is there, like, I'm sure there's more to it than that.
Oh, yeah. So our pool is turning 50 next year. Our dome just turned 10 that we had put on in 2015. So it's a lovely, large aquatic facility, one of the best in West Tennessee, if I do say so myself. And we have daily lessons, daily practice, all kinds of things going on. We have our wonderful manta ray swim team that meets there. We have water aerobics almost daily, and a great faithful group that attend. We're incredibly fortunate to have a pool in Covington. I think at the height of pools in America, it was something like 3 million. And now I just Googled it. We're down to about 5,000 nationwide.
Really?
Yeah.
I learned to swim at that pool.
Did you? I think a lot of people in Covington did.
I took, and it was, I remember they made you go up on the high dive for like the last part of it or whatever.
Ooh.
And it seemed super, I don't know how high it really, I don't even know if it's still there, but like, so they had two diving boards, like a regular diving board, like everybody thinks of, and then they had this high dive. And that was the scariest thing ever to do, was to jump off of that high dive. I really thought, and I eventually just did it because of the pressure of everybody. But the whole time I'm looking down, I'm thinking, this might be it for me. And I mean, I'm like, I don't know, 5, but I can still remember thinking, I don't know if I'm going to make this. And, but you know, of course I did. And, I probably had floats on my arms, you know, when I was doing it. I have no idea. I don't remember, but, I just remember that being like the scariest thing that I had done up to that point, and for a long time after, was jumping off of that stupid high dive there. But I did learn to swim, while I was there. That was great service that they've offered and still offer now, there at the city pool. And we used to call it city pool because we had the family pool that doesn't exist anymore, up the road. So you had to distinguish between the two.
Of course.
But this was, but yeah, it's a great facility, and great that the time and the money is being taken to have something like that here in Covington. Moving on to education, though, because that's why we're here today.
Yeah, it's back to school season.
It is back to school season. You got a new superintendent of schools, which is Dr. Rebecca Bird. She originally was the first principal at Atoka Elementary when they first opened it.
She's the vice principal.
Oh, she was the vice principal. Okay. And, but that's where she sort of got her reputation and started her skyrocketing her career. And I'm excited to talk to her about that one day, but, because I've never met anybody that had anything bad to say about her.
No, and we're excited for her leadership. Like, Dr. Bird is very concise. She's very direct, and we're looking forward to see what she's going to do in that position.
So now this week is in service, which means what for teachers?
It means that teachers are going back to school. We are prepping our rooms. We're sitting in meetings. We're getting our wonderful bloodborne pathogen training that we get every year. By the way, don't touch the blood. The blood is bad. And we're getting ready for our students. We're sitting in professional development meetings. We're learning about our new policies and procedures.
What sticks out to you this year versus other years?
Well, other years, the further we get away from the pandemic and those pandemic years, the easier it gets.
Right.
The more relaxed people are heading back. I think this year we're really just kind of gliding in, and it feels great.
So what class starts Monday.
It does.
And so the kids will come in Monday morning. What are the preparations done for that ahead of time as far as the individual teacher?
Oh, teachers are really busy. This is our go time. They are buying supplies, they are prepping their rooms, they're making their copies. I teach elementary art to all of Brighton Elementary, so I have about 700 students that I'm preparing for. Um, and it's a big job.
Now, elementary art, let's
It's
be
the best.
real. It's you're not teaching Van Gogh.
No, I think of myself as like the fun aunt of the school. Like people want to come and play and have fun with their old pal Miss Katie in the art room.
It's definitely though good that you still have programs like that going on in school, because creativity is very important, and I think even more so today than it used to be, because a lot of jobs used to be very technical, and just you do this, and there was, I'm talking like factory jobs where you put stuff in boxes or stuff like that. I mean, just different, or you're a mechanic or whatever, and more even of those jobs now lend themselves to creativity versus before. Before, it was kind of a paint by numbers sort of situation for most jobs. And the creative people were either in entertainment or at the top of the company coming up with the ideas. But now, because so much of everything is computerized, and with the rise of AI, you have to know how to prompt it, which takes some creativity. And so I think the creative programs are more important now than they were before, because even jobs that used to not include a lot of creativity do include creativity now.
That's right. And the creative arts, dance, music, theater, visual arts give children a place to explore and to maybe be successful where they maybe aren't successful in their traditional classroom.
Yeah, I was probably the case with it. No, I was actually I was all right in school, I think. But no, I did a little bit of different creative stuff in school, and through the drama program, and so it's just great to have stuff like that. But even at a young age, to have that sort of break from just trying to jam their head full of information to pass that test is that's always a good break. Now, I know everything is a big work, right? Like a big bunch of work is what I mean, to get ready for the kids. But what is the exciting part about it for teachers?
Well, a lot of us teachers love being students, and a lot of us have our own children in school. My little boy is starting kindergarten this year, so there's an extra level of excitement with that and getting him ready. But it's the best job, and people that are in it love it. Um, we in Tipton County, I don't speak for the district, I speak for myself, but as a teacher in Tipton County, they've done a wonderful job preparing us to get ready for this school year. I was able to go and speak to our new teacher in service, and we have, I think, over 60 new educators joining us in Tipton County schools this year. And so there's a lot of great energy.
Let's take a break real quick. I'm gonna play a song and then pay some bills, and we'll come right back. More with Kathryn Vaughn. Plus, you don't know this, but she told me off air, and so I'm gonna call her out on air. That she has a crazy life. Like, she's got a bunch of experiences, and so we'll talk a little bit about that when we come back. Here, let's do Ella Langley. Welcome back. It's Dynamite Chad in the morning to this completely unprofessional show on US 51 Country, Dynamite Chad in the morning. And I've got Kathryn Vaughn as my guest. And so I've just found out, you were telling me about your crazy life, and then in the break, I was bringing up some other stuff, and it's even more nuts than I thought. But so you have been to the Olympics in London. You went to the World Cup game between England and France for the third place game in Miami this year. What was the other thing you told me you did? So anyway, something else like that everybody wishes they had gone to. I can't remember what it is now off the top of my head. And then now I found out that you are also, and this is my fault for not knowing. I work in entertainment. I guess I should know somebody else that works in entertainment. But you are a pop culture correspondent for TMZ.
All the way from Covington, Tennessee.
Yeah. And so you do live spots with TMZ Live occasionally for that program, with the Harvey, what's his name, the lawyer guy. Right. And that is, What else do you do? I mean, this is all fascinating to me. So just, I mean, how did you get this crazy life?
Well, I've lived all over. My dad is a seventh generation brewmaster, and he's worked in various jobs in the beverage field. And there's not a lot of seventh generation brewmasters out there. So his specific skill set is in demand. And that's actually what brought us to Covington. He helped with Slim Fast when it was still a Slim Fast plant. And then he's gone on to do a bunch of other different things, working in soda, various beverages. But when you move around a lot, and I think I had something like 20 homes growing up, you just kind of find yourself in a lot of different predicaments and situations and places.
And so now you told me that your dad, when he got out here to Slim Fast, which is now, I don't know, they don't even do Slim Fast here anymore.
It's Unilever, I think.
They do Magnum ice cream now is all it is, I think.
Those are delicious.
But I'm not sure though. Somebody else could tell me, but I think that's all they do now is the ice cream. But he switched the Slim Fast formula from something to whatever they were using before, whey or whatever, to soy. Mm-hmm. And so he completely changed Slim Fast and then was able to revolutionize that here in Covington. I mean, this is crazy to me because you're talking about somebody, you came from New York. What part of New York were you in when you went to, because you said they dropped you off at college in Knoxville. So you went to UT?
I did.
And so, I mean, that's 1 point against you, but you're okay. And then you've got, but then they come to Covington for him to be in charge of whatever at Slim Fast. And how much of a culture shock is it though? Where were you? What part of New York were you in before that?
I was in Albany. So I was in upstate New York.
Okay. So you're in the capital.
Yes.
But you were in a city.
Yes. And I was only a couple hours away from New York City. And that draw has always been intense for me. So I spent as much time in the city as possible.
So how crazy was the culture difference for you to once you, I know in college is different because everybody's from somewhere, right. But how shocking was it?
Well, when they left New York, they literally drove down and dropped me off in Knoxville at my dorm at UT. And I don't think I came to Covington until maybe that Christmas. And I got here and was like, this is where y'all live. I was like, this is different. And it's beautiful, for one, the farmland. And it just felt like home. And so now it's been my home for decades, which as a kid that moved around a lot was something that I'd always looked forward and wanted.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I've not known anybody from Albany. I don't think I met somebody from Brighton, New York once, and I wasn't a fan. She was the mayor, and she was not she's not a great person, but she was not easy to be around anyway at the time. But the very much a politician, and so and I've got a lot of politician friends, but this was something different. Politics is different up there. And it's starting to get that way here, but it was already that way up there when I went up there. But so tell me about going to how do you end up at the World Cup this year?
Well, for clarification, we didn't go to the game. We were just in the city experiencing all the excitement, and it was thrilling. It was just the crowds, the people that were here. And it was great for America to host the World Cup and to have so many international friends come and visit us and see what our country is really about.
And you work with soccer?
Yes, I do. I coordinate youth sports for the city of Covington, and we're gearing up for our soccer season. And I'm hoping we're building some momentum off of that World Cup push.
I think
get some more
big.
Kids. Yeah.
I think it's going to be big. This is way bigger than this World Cup was, even though we co-hosted this one, it was way bigger than the one in 94. One, because they expanded it from 32 to 64 teams, but also just the national coverage, the availability of the games on television, and the excitement that came along with some of the teams like Norway and England, and England looking for their first one since I think it was 66, their first World Cup final. And so just a lot of history behind it, and a lot of hope for the U.S. that fizzled out in the same round it always does. But hopefully, we did just find out, by the way, I'll bring this up in sports. We did just find out, though, that the coach is coming back for the next 4 years. So the next World Cup will have the same coach And so hopefully be able to build off of that. Hopefully, Pulisic is able to be a little better, and we keep battling and all that. That's something for sports. But yeah, I think it will help grow soccer here locally, especially with kids and especially with parents. So it's less dangerous. I mean, since the CTE stuff has come out, I mean, a lot of people don't want their kids playing football, and which I hope we find a way to battle that and still keep American football because it's fantastic.
Right.
But yeah, I do think I think it'll grow. I know you brought a whole sheet of stuff, and then I'm asking you about stuff that has nothing to do with that. So I apologize for that. Let me do a station ID. I'll come back and let's talk. I'll tell you what, let's do a station ID. Let's do a news break. And then I'll come back and we'll make 93.5 FM and joined by Kathryn Vaughn. She is a native of nowhere, really, because you grew up in about 30 places, but you have been here for about 20 years and decided to make this your home, which is really cool, I think, for all the places that you've been and lived. And then to say, this is the place that feels like home to me to me, that's really cool. And it really speaks to the community that we have here. And because you get in this thing as a local, you get in this rut of complaining about everything and like not being able to see the good because you're always worried about the bad. And I think it takes people that are like, no, I choose to stay here. I didn't just grow up here and that's why I'm here. I choose to stay here and I see the good and I like that. That's what I like about you and your story. I know you got some things you want to get to though. So now I'm going to shut up for a second and I'm going to let you get to those things.
Well, I mean, we've got a lot going on with back to school. And like you said, I am the president of the Tipton County Education Association. I represent our largest labor force here in Tipton County, our educators. And basically anyone that gets a paycheck from Tipton County schools, whether you're a bus driver, a teacher, an assistant, an attendance clerk like your mom, Chad, you can join the Education Association. We have lots of opportunities for educators. And we're not a union per se, but we are part of the National Education Association. I was lucky enough to be a education fellow with the National Education Association, leadership fellow. And so I got to meet with teachers from all over the world or all over our country and really focus on our craft and develop and become the best teacher I can be. And one of my goals is to leave education a little better than I found it and to make it great for everybody.
That's certainly a noble goal. And, hopefully it's an integral part of society, is our education system. And it's become so ingrained and such it's not only important, and sometimes I think we lose sight of it being important for the individual student and helping keep people out of poverty and give people useful skills and knowledge to live life and contribute to society. But it's also somewhat of a political football, and it's something that we use in quote unquote competition with other countries. Where we as a country will compare and even as a state will compare to another state. And it's a big thing for example, if we're trying to get people to move to Tipton County, I mean, one of the biggest reasons people move to Tipton County is because of the Tipton County education system. Because that is one of the first things people look at when either they have kids or are planning to have kids, and they want to know that the schools are good and safe. And and we're able to provide that here. And so, yeah, it's such an important chunk of society is tied up in the education system.
Yeah, and we're at a great precipice of change right now with all of our leadership changes locally, not just within the school district, but within the city government, within our county government. And hopefully those people that are running for office will continue to make our Tipton County schools a priority and keep and retain our teachers and attract new teachers.
What do you think the biggest challenge facing the education in Tipton County is right now?
Well, across our state, we are 50th for per pupil education spending in 50 states. And we could really stand to invest some more money into our education system. not just into testing, but into retaining staff and keeping staff. And as president of the Tipton County Education Association, I've pushed for a lot of policies that hopefully can make teaching better. This year, we're starting our first bereavement policy. We've never had that for Tipton County school employees. And that was something that was a big thing of our agenda last year, was to help with that.
Now, when you say that Tennessee as a state is the 50th in spending,
yes,
of all the states in education, we are far from the poorest state in the nation. Mississippi, Alabama, I believe, as far as, average income and things like that, and just the state's financial solvency and ability. We are not at the bottom in any of those categories as a state. Why are we at the bottom in education spending? Why are we below, in Mississippi? I just moved from Mississippi. Mississippi has made tremendous gains in education. I mean, they used to be considered bottom of the barrel, and they've made tremendous gains in education. And now education in Mississippi has really come up. And why do you think Tennessee is not spending the same percentage of money that other states are?
Yeah, that's a question that I ask our politicians quite often when I invite them into my classroom, when I go to Nashville to advocate for public schools. We do ask, why are we not the priority? Our children should be our priority, our children's learning conditions, our teachers' working conditions, and the funding. But I haven't been given any answers that I approve of yet. So I'm going to keep asking those questions. And that's the thing with the TEA. One teacher has a voice, but together we're a movement, and we can hopefully push for some change. That's why if you're a public school educator, joining the association is such an important thing, because together we can have more sway and hopefully get some more funding for our students.
It blows my mind. I mean, it really blows my mind what you just said, that we're 50th in education spending.
Yeah. Mississippi, we beat them out.
And and then, but we're not, because I know as a state that we're not 50th in income. So there's no reason for us to be 50th in education spending. If our taxes were the lowest maybe if our taxes were the lowest of all the 50 states, then, we could say, well, you've got that. We don't have that. So, and maybe some of it, I don't, do we have more private education than more states or something? I don't know. I'm trying to give benefit of the doubt here. Maybe there are more private schools and there's more but I don't know. I can't explain that. That blows my mind. It really does.
We're also not 50th in student achievement. Tennessee, I mean, we're in a good percentage of the top with our student achievement, and that is just based on the dedication of our teachers. Our teachers going above and beyond and out of their way, working multiple jobs, buying their own school supplies. I'm a teacher, and I've had 3 or 4 jobs going on at every time just so I can afford to continue to teach.
Well, that is, it's just something. It blows my mind. But look, I appreciate you coming in. I've run out of time, but I really appreciate you coming in. I'd love to have you in again sometime, because there's just so much. I didn't know the TMZ thing at the very least. Like, you're going to have to come on here and do some pop culture updates or something at some point. We will have to stay in touch, but I really appreciate you coming on the show and being with us this morning and letting us know what's going on as far as education. School starts Monday, so don't forget to wake your kids up and get them dressed.
Yeah. Have a great back to school time, everybody. Have a great school year.
All right. Well, thank